If you listen closely enough, God will speak to you through people. And I say this because a lot's changed over my life over the past 6 or 7 months or so. And I'm currently a personal trainer at a gym, and there were recently 3 members that really stood out to me where I felt like God was speaking to me through them. I just wanted to make this video to share those conversations. So one of the members, we'll call him Jay, he had come up to me when I was just doing some admin work at the desk, and he first mentioned how we were talking about like just clothing and how some women will wear some very provocative clothing in the gym, and how that's maybe not the most God fearing thing to do, of what you would want out of someone who is following Christianity and in a potential partner. So right away, I connected with him on that. We spoke about that, and I'm usually like a pretty neutral person, especially when I am, just working, but I'm showing who I am, I'm connecting to a person. And we're having a really good conversation. And we come across, I forget at what point, because this happened like a week or two ago, but he was saying how he loves to work out without his AirPods in or without any kind of headphones. And I totally agree with him, because no matter where you look, whether that's in the gym, if you're at a coffee shop, if you're just walking down the street, people are constantly plugged in. And it makes it really hard to just have a regular conversation or to just say hi or meet somebody new, because then you feel like you might be interrupting them. So that was something that he spoke to me about, and that's something that I've started to do, because I used to be that person where if I'm working out, it's different if you're like actually like working at a coffee shop, or maybe you're talking to somebody on the phone and you need your AirPods in, totally different. But ever since this new technology came out 10, 15, 20 years ago, things have been drastically different just in terms of the human connection that we can potentially get. We're just missing out on that. And so I've made it a point in my life, as much as possible, when I'm in a public setting, to not be plugged in, and in a non-public setting as well. If I'm just studying, like, I don't want constant distraction. I want to be focused. But in this case, I don't want to be distracted so that I can have the potential to talk to people, to strike up a conversation, to meet new people, because we just don't get that anymore because of the constant distractions through our AirPods, through our phones, all that kind of stuff. So that was the first member that I talked to. And then a couple of days ago, I talked to another member. Let's call him, let's call him Ethan. And I was doing a exercise on a GHD machine, Glute Ham Developer. If you're not familiar with that, it's a pretty unique machine. Not a whole lot of people use it or know how to use it in the gym. But anyway, I was doing like a very unique exercise on that, almost like a reverse back extension, where I'm working more of the quad and hip flexor. Anyway, he came up to me as I'm doing my set, and he says, "Do you have back pain?" And I was like, how do you know? And he's like, I feel like that'd be like a really good exercise for someone who's dealing with back pain, because most people, right, we are at a desk a lot of times of the day, or we're sitting down, driving, commuting to work. And so we're always in this like shortened or sitting position, and our hip flexors become shortened. It can mess up some things in our back, and that's a potential reason as to why we may have some back pain. So right away, I thought that it was really interesting that he came up to me just because he saw me doing a specific exercise and knew that I was an individual who dealt with back pain. And so we connected on that, because this guy, he was probably like in his early 50s, and he was pretty jacked. He was a jacked dude. And he said how he's been dealing with back pain ever since he was 17, since it was an injury in football. But he had gone through the military. I forget what he said his profession was, but it sounded like it was like a blue collar profession, and that his back pain is either on or off. For me, it's pretty much constantly on, but like I can deal with it. It's not gonna prevent me from like doing anything in particular. It's always there. It's always like a constant. But for him, he was telling me how there were some days, especially when he was raising his kids, where the back pain was just like on, and he like could barely walk. He could barely get out of bed, and how it was. And there were times, of course, where it was fine, and he valued those times, because that's when he was able to play with his children. And that's something that I want. I want to be able to be not only just a healthy human, to like be pain-free, but also so that one day when I have children, I want to be able to play with them. I want to be able to pick them up without worrying about my back giving out. So that's something that I'm actively working on, and I felt like God was speaking to me through him, because I almost feel like it was a potential, I don't know, future version of me. Just getting that feedback of somebody else who had dealt with back pain but still understood like the importance of trying to be a healthy human so that you can enjoy your life, enjoy the time with your children. The third member I talked to, let's call him Garrett. He came up to me after I was finished doing a set. He was on a bench next to me, and he first shows me a picture of this guy, and it's like one of those NPC, not bikini, like bodybuilding guys. And he's like, "That's my son." He's like, "My son just won like a national or a qualifying tournament of some sort." So we kind of get to talking on that, and we're talking about diet, the importance of staying healthy, all that. And he tells me like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm here like probably like 4 or 5 times a week, and like I'm not trained for anything in particular. I just want to like be strong. I want to be healthy so that as I age, I don't have to, one, like be taken care of by my son, because that would just, kind of be hard for his life. I don't want to be a detriment to his life. And two, just so that I feel good, so that I am capable of doing things myself." And that spoke to me, because the longer that I've been a personal trainer in the health and fitness industry, the more I understand, for a lot of people, it's not about like your looks. Like, yes, that's like an egotistical thing. We all want to look better. We all want to have a little bit of muscle definition, abs, bigger arms, all that kind of stuff. But especially as we're aging, we just want to be able to be physically fit enough to not have like any injuries hold us back, or to be able to do things around the house. Or in his case, he's a grandfather. He was telling me he has a couple of grandchildren. He wants to just be able to play with them and pick them up. So another conversation that I had, that I felt like God was speaking to me through all these people. And with that first member, we're calling him Jay. I feel like over the last couple months of my life, I realized just how distracted I've been. And it was really, really cool to connect with somebody who's older than me. He was probably like, I don't know, in his mid-40s or early 40s. And to see that like he understands how the world has changed because of our constant distractions and constant of needing like dopamine hits just to like live day by day, and understanding that God was speaking to me through him, so that I know that I need to get rid of it if I want to have a meaningful life. Otherwise, we're all just sitting down whenever we have free time, just scrolling, and that really isn't doing anything for us. So yeah, message of the video: don't be distracted. Prioritize your health, because you never know if you will get injured, or you just want to make sure that you're staying as healthy as possible, as strong as possible, so that you can enjoy your life now and in the future.